The first part of my teaching career was teaching gifted and teaching kids in middle class college professors' children in Colorado. But then the more kind of heart work that I've done has been working in what I call America's third world schools and prison schools and Head Starts and Title I schools and places where children, come from financially disadvantaged background. My passion is really working with kids that are underserved. And with COVID, I've done it virtually. And right now I have these Afghan programs going on in Denver. I'll be virtual with them. I work directly with the children, but I also work with the teachers.
You mentioned in an email to me that you are working with refugees in schools. And so that's the work that you're doing.
Well,
now.
The refugee work is new. This is something that I've just started doing rather recently, but Share Literacy has a volunteer cohort. And most of us are located on the East Coast, Virginia, Washington, D.C., Maryland. There happen to be a lot of Afghans in the D.C. area. Share Literacy has been around for a long time, and we work primarily in the United States. The Afghan piece, the Pakistani piece are relatively new because we had been there working. I'm not literally there, but we have people that are there teaching. But with the Taliban taking over, we had to bring everything back here. So we have really several arms. So we give books away. We do usually it's a holiday drive, and we give books away to programs, after school programs, school programs. We have a program here called I Have a Dream, where I give books to them from Share Literacy every year. And then in addition, with Zoom, we decided that we were going to reach out to housing developments and public housing after school programs where we could work directly with the kids.
So I am a little bit curious as to how you're located and Hoopoe Books is located in the United States. Mm-hmm. And yet the stories that are the foundation of the Share Literacy and of the different programs that you're offering are from Afghanistan.
Yes.
How did those things come together?
Well, so the overarching organization is called the Institute for the Study of Human Knowledge, ISHK. It was founded by Dr. Robert Ornstein and Sally Mallam, who is his wife. Dr. Ornstein is the psychologist, the brain psychologist that coined the left-right brain hemisphere awareness back in the 60s when he wrote his first book called The Psychology of Consciousness. And he was working on split brains at the Sperry Institute, where people had the corpus callosum severed because of grand mal epilepsy. And initially people said, well, it doesn't make a difference whether you cut that corpus callosum. People don't change. But in his research and in the research that was done by Sperry, they discovered, no, that's not true. When the left and right hemispheres can't communicate with each other, there are big differences. So Bob's work, really, that's where it started. And in addition, he was very close with Idris Shah, who was living in London at the time. And Shah recognized that the way in which he wanted to transmit his awareness, his knowledge, and his information, that the Westerner really understands through science, through scientific language. And so Bob's work on hemisphericity also influenced the way in which Shah's stories were understood. Stories actually access the right hemisphere of the brain more than instructional material. When you're kind of using didactic teaching, it's really more left brain for the most part, although there's connections, of course, between the two. But stories really access the right hemisphere, and they're an indirect way of teaching that allows us to learn in a very different kind of way. So I had to unlearn as much as I was learning. I had to unlearn in order to learn, because I had a preconceived idea about these stories, how to use them. Shah gave Sally Mallam a collection of the stories that he had been telling his children through their childhood and their life, his 3 children. He said, do whatever you want with these. And she got the idea to have them illustrated and to turn them into children's books. And she went to an art school in California and found people whose beautiful, beautiful illustrations. I'm sure you love them, right? Amazing. All of them are amazing. And so they were illustrated. And in 1998, I think it was, she came to a meeting that Bob was talking at MIT in Boston, and she showed these stories to us. At that point, she was starting to think about publishing them, and she published it under Hoopoe Books. And I thought, oh, these are wonderful, because some of these stories I'd been reading just in text form. I'd been reading this as an adult, and seeing it in this other format with the pictures just made it magical.